Paper 4, question 1. So section A of paper 4 is compulsory, you must do all these questions. So they say it is a mixture of element and compound. So we look. Okay, so example, you look at F first. F, this is element because all same type, but it's more than one. So we call it a molecule of an element. So this is usually diatomic elements like group 7 or hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Okay, then we look at figure E. So you can see an element over there, and this one is two types joined together, so this is a compound. So this is the answer because it has an element and a compound. So it's figure E or diagram E. So just to look at the diagram D, this is also an element, but is for noble gases. Okay, let's look at question B. Copper and tin are mixed together. So copper and tin, when they mix together, this is an alloy. So alloys is is option C because it's a mixture of metals. And option C, they say chlorine gas. Chlorine gas is Cl2, is an element, a molecule of an element. So like above, diagram F shows you chlorine. So this is on element compound mixture under the diagrams. Question 2 is also on element compound mixture. So A, it says it is formed when magnesium is heated with oxygen. So this means there must be a reaction. So A, the solid P must be a compound because a chemical reaction takes place when a compound is formed. Part B, solid Q is green and white. When dissolved in water, the green particles dissolve but not the white particles. So this means it must be a mixture. What is the reason? Because green one can dissolve, but the white particles cannot. So this means that the properties of the green particles and the white particles are different. You could also say that this can be separated by filtration, right? Because the white particles will be stuck on the filter paper. So you can also say that it be separated by filtration, which is a physical method. Both answers will be accepted. Okay, for question 3, they show you 3 diagrams with the reaction talking about group 1. So group 1 is lithium, sodium, potassium. Remember that as we go down the group, it gets more and more reactive. Okay, which means that potassium is a lot more reactive than lithium. So if you look at the diagram, Y has a lot of bubbles, so Y will be potassium. X has 5 bubbles, so X will be sodium. Z has 4 bubbles, so Z will be lithium. So you need to tick off the diagram. Okay, so these group 1 metals are called alkali metals, right? When they react with water, okay, it tests with red litmus paper, the litmus paper will turn blue. What is the reason? You must remember that when sodium reacts with water, what is formed is not just hydrogen gas, but also sodium hydroxide. And sodium hydroxide is an alkali. Alkali will turn red litmus paper blue. Okay, still on periodic table, the last chapter that we covered, periodic table. So potassium is a metal, so K, water is H2O. Potassium hydroxide, that's how you do it, KOH. And the gas produced is hydrogen gas by memory. So now we count. Hydrogen is the one that's not balanced because you see there is 3 hydrogen on the right. On the left is only 2. So I put a 2 first. So now I got 2 times 2, 4 hydrogen. 2 hydrogen. I put a 2 here, so I have another 2 hydrogen. So you check. Okay, so if you want, you can write left hand side, right hand side if it helps you. So write KHO. Then you count 1K on the left, 2K on the right. 2 times 2, 4 hydrogen on the left. 2 plus 2, 4 hydrogen on the right. 2 oxygen on the left. 2 oxygen on the right. So all is balanced except potassium. Potassium needs more on the left. So on my left hand side, I must add a number in front. So now I have 2K on the left and 2K on the right. So this is my balance equation. They do not need they do not need state symbols. Part D, explain why group 1 metals are usually stored in oil. So if you watch the video, you will remember that they are very reactive with air and water. Question 4. So negative is electron minus 1. Positive is proton plus 1 is the charge. And the last one will be neutron. So the charge is 0. Okay, so lithium ion, how to write the chemical formula? Go to your periodic table. It will be Li plus. Then the other one, carbonate. So CO3 2 minus. So if you put them together to get lithium carbonate, carbonate charge is 2 minus, lithium is plus, right? So I will need more lithium. So I need 2 lithium and the carbonate, just write it like that. There's no need to put bracket because it's just one of it. Okay, part C. So talking about group 1 metals again. So another physical property is that it has low melting and boiling point other than it's shiny and silver. Okay, you can also say it's low density. Okay, part D. What are isotopes? So by memory, this is the answer. Okay, so completing the table below. So lithium 6 means the top number is 6. Proton number means the bottom number is 3. So to find number of neutrons will be 6 minus 3 equals to 3. So Li, this will be the symbol. Okay, question 5. So this is my calcium chloride, which is a ionic compound, because why? Calcium metal, chloride non-metal. So metal non-metal ionic compound means we must draw ions. Go to the periodic table. There are 20 electrons for calcium, 2.8.8.2. Chlorine 17 electrons, 2.8.7. So to make it completely filled, calcium will want to lose 2, chlorine will want to gain 1. So let's check also at the chemical formula. How many calcium and how many chlorine must we draw? So if calcium is 2 plus Cl, we need 2 Cl for the charges to be balanced. That means we are actually drawing 1 calcium and 2 chloride ions. So let's start drawing the calcium ion first. So this is how we draw it. So if we draw calcium with all cross, chlorine will all have dots first. So you draw 2.8.7 as dots, but the one that is gain will have to be in cross because it's gain for calcium. And we put a number 2 in front for the chloride ion to show that there's 2. Okay, now the next one is methane. So methane, you must remember methane is CH4. This is covalent because C carbon, H hydrogen, these are both non-metals. Covalent means you must draw sharing. So no bracket, no charges. Sharing means overlap. So they say draw only the valence electron. So carbon, just need to draw the 4 valence electrons. Hydrogen is 1, so that's all we draw. This is not the final answer, this is just the steps. So how do we overlap them? So you simply put one cross with one dot together, and this is how they share. Okay, now part C. Explain why calcium chloride has a higher melting and boiling point compared to methane. So if you read your notes on the properties and you understand the reason why, or you memorize the reason why, this is the reason why. Okay, question 4. If it's negatively charged, it's electron, so it will be -1.